Yeah, hey everyone, Brian with you from the Game Cabinet. We are doing our AI-only championship series, our fall 2020 championship series, and we have moved past the group stages, and now we are on to the second chance rounds. Our first 12 civs have made it to the knockout rounds from the group stages, and those 12 civs were Gandhi, we had Elnor Vakotane, the English version, we had Babylon, we had Gorgo from Greece, we had Brazil, we had Netherlands, we had Ethiopia, we had Eleanor Vakotane again, but the French version make it through. We had Mali, we had Teddy Roosevelt, the Rough Rider version, and then we had Basile, and we had Lady Six Skies. So those are our 12 civs that have already made it into the knockout rounds, so they will not be in these remaining second chance groups. Essentially, we are taking the remaining 42 civs, and we're basically giving them one more chance to make it through to the knockout rounds. We have broken the groups down into 6 groups again. This time, instead of having 9 civs per group, we're going to have 7 civs per group, which is going to give them a little bit more land. And once again, the top 2 via each round are going to make it through, whether that's score after 315 turns or whether someone ends up winning the science victory before then, whoever's in top 2 places at that point, or the winner and then whoever's in the one of the top 2 spots. You know what, it's the same rules. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about. I've not literally played my computer at all in the past week because Cyberpunk came out and I've been playing on the Xbox, and I'll probably end up talking about that, but I've been absolutely addicted to that, and basically I pre-recorded everything with this and our other Civ series just because I wanted to do nothing but Cyberpunk for a week, and that's what we did. But eventually we have to come back. So there were a lot of comments from you guys. It was like, holy crap, all right, yeah, this is like a week's worth of comments. It was like a lot. So I did go through the comments. One of the things is we had a comment talking about, actually I have it pulled right here. So it talked about how we should actually structure our groups, and I actually loved it. I thought it was an absolutely great idea. So what we ended up doing is I have all of the groups here and the order that everyone placed in. So what we ended up doing is we took 3 and 9 from group 1, then we took 4 from group 2, 5 from group 3, 6 from group 4, and 7 from group 5, and then 8 from group 6. And then we basically took 3 and 9 from group 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so what essentially that does is every group then has someone who came in 3rd place, someone that came in 9th place, someone that came in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And so that's basically how it ended up working. Honestly, it really wasn't that big of a deal. I think we got all the civs in here. I'm slightly concerned that we might have missed a civ. I do know that this first group is correct. I double checked on that one. These other groups, I'm going to have to go through and just double check and make sure all of the proper civs are in there. I'm not so concerned if we accidentally wrote down, like, let's say Alexander was actually in 6th place instead of 5th place. I don't really care that much about that. That's not really that big of a deal if they're in the wrong group. It's more important that we actually have all of the civs in here. But if all of this is done correctly, it actually, I think, makes it maybe the most fair because, hey, you did a really good job in 3rd place. Well, I mean, essentially we give a 3rd place and then a 9th place, a 4th place, a 5th place. We have one of each number in each group stage, and I think that works out really, really, really well. And then the only duplicates are like the only groups or the only civs that are going to be playing against someone that they've already played against is going to be the 3rd and the 9th, which then probably gives an advantage to the 3rd. I mean, really, not really, but I think this works out really well. So I very much enjoyed it. So how it ended up working out, at least with this first group, is we got Pericles from Greece, we got Harald with Norway, we got Nubia, we got Gran Colombia, we got Zulu, we got Qin Shi with China, we got English Victoria. Then group 2, we got the Maori, we got Congo, we got Dido, we got Egypt, we got Chandragupta, we got Cree, and then we got Bull Teddy. And then group 3, we had Korea, Scythia, Canada, which is Wilfrid. Is that how you say his name? I think he's one of the names I've been screwing up. It's Wilfrid, right? But then we have Sweden, Aztec, Ottoman, Australia. That is going to be a crazy group. Oh my gosh. Wow, you got Scythia, Korea, Aztec, Ottoman, Australia. Ooh, I didn't actually pay attention to any of these when I was typing them in. But then group 4, we got Germany, Khmer, which this is Jayavarman, right? I think that's the other one I've been screwing up. We got Catherine with the France, we got Macedonia, Georgia, Japan, and then we got the other Catherine, which I found kind of hilarious that we had 2 French civs in that one, which is fine because we can always turn it off. Then group 5, we have the Gauls, we have Mongolia, we have Persia, we have Poland, we have Arabia, we have Hungary, we have Rome. And then group 6, we have Mapuche, Scotland, Inca, Spain, Sumeria, Russia, Indonesia. I don't have any of the fancy pictures in the, well, I didn't make any of them yet, so I'm not going to have any of that for this particular video, but I will go ahead, hopefully, and remember to put all of these different civs in the comments below so you can kind of see the group stages and maybe help double check it. Now, the big thing is coming down to what modes are we going to play with? Oh, I should probably go ahead and put this on deity here just in case. Okay, and then double save. Save. Okay, so this is where ultimately I think I settled on. We got Apocalypse mode, we got Heroes and Legends mode, we got Tech and Civic Shovel mode. We're not going to play Dramatic Ages mode. I promised you guys we weren't going to do that, and so for fairness sake and for a little bit less RNG sake, we're not going to play with that. I also don't think we should play with Secret Society mode just because the AI is really bad with a couple of secret societies, and I think it kind of sets them back. In addition to that, the ones that end up going for the cultists end up wasting all their faith on the cultists and basically gives a 0% chance of them winning a religious game, even though that seems pretty unlikely for the AI to win anyways, but, you know, it probably takes it from like a 2% chance to a 0% chance. I decided to leave Apocalypse mode on though, and here is where I came from. I know a lot of people wanted to see Apocalypse mode off. The thing is, I don't really feel as if Apocalypse mode is going to screw over any civ. There was no civ in the game that we saw that was going to win that ended up losing because of Apocalypse mode. There was a couple civs where it was like neck and neck, and then the Apocalypse mode came in and made a difference. I don't so much mind that, because here's the reasoning I like Apocalypse mode. 99% of the time when we've played these games, when it gets to late era, there's basically nothing to do. You know, maybe there's two civs that might be competing for a spot, but for the most part, it's just kind of like, it just gets kind of boring at the end because there's not a whole lot happening. But what we saw in the group stages is we actually saw Apocalypse mode making the game really kind of like shake things up in the end and get really, really exciting and add some drama to the end of the game. And I like that. I think that's, you know, I think that's fun. We also left Heroes and Legends mode on because I don't think it's really going to make much of a difference. Yeah, they might end up wasting some of their faith, but it really isn't that big of a deal. And in fact, they may be able to use the Hero and Legends or the Heroes to actually help conquer other civs, even though, you know, we really didn't see that happen. But maybe, just maybe, we can hope for the best. I also decided to leave Tech and Civic Shuffle mode on. I don't think it really hinders and or helps any civ in particular, but what it potentially could do, and we've seen it happen where walls are in a very weird path, and then the AI just never gets walls. When we're playing this on normal deity, the AI almost always get walls pretty early on, so this basically gives an opportunity for the walls not to pop out as early, which then might keep the game a little more varied, and once again, a little more drama added to the game, which I think is going to be a lot more fun. The other thing to note is I actually was pulling up the XML files here before that was in here. I was actually pulling up the XML files and taking a look here at the meteor showers or the comet strikes, and a couple things jumped out at me. Number one, I think part of the reason we see so many comet strikes at the end of the game is because there's actually two different variations of the comet strikes. There's the targeted one, and then there's the regular comet strike. I think the only difference between the two different comet strikes is the targeted ones only affect one tile. They only trigger a radius of one. I don't know where that is actually. Yeah, it's only one hex, where the non-targeted one apparently had a hex of 4. Yeah, you can see here. I think that is the only difference on it. The one thing to confirm though is we can see here that the comets will only actually strike on land. And I was actually debating, I don't know how to edit XML files, but I'm actually debating about going in here and actually changing this to add in the water. The reasoning for this is simply because I think one of the biggest things about this is, well, A, the fact that this is in here twice, I think gives it an opportunity for it to happen twice as often, which is probably why when we get into the Apocalypse mode at the end of the game, you tend to see a lot more meteors than anything else, simply because I actually couldn't actually figure out what was occurring in it. I don't think there was any like random thing where it was like focusing on one civ more than another or on the leader more than the other. I don't think anything like that was actually in it. I think it's just on a random. Oh, I tagged it down. I'm like, I just deleted it. I just think it's on a random terrain tile. But I think by adding in the water, what would end up happening is when we're on smaller maps that have less land, it would be less harsh, less punishing. Now, I don't know how to do that, so if you guys have an idea on that, I would be more than open on it. Now, will this screw this up? Yeah, I mean, they'll have to deal with it. Hopefully, they'll have enough land. And honestly, I would love to do that even for like the championship, like the final rounds, the knockout rounds. If I could just add in the water, I think that would be great. Other thing to keep in mind is I'm recording this on Tuesday now, and don't know when, but they did announce another patch is going to be coming out. Not entirely sure when it will be. My assumption is next week is Christmas. Christmas is on what, Friday? So I highly doubt, like I can't imagine they would be working anytime after Wednesday next week. In fact, I would not be shocked if they were actually gone all next week. And then there's pretty much no chance that they would release it because it's supposed to come out this month. So there's basically no chance it would come out after Christmas. So if they're going to finish it, it would probably be sometime this week, maybe early next week. So because of that, that means I'll probably end up recording all the group stages, at least this group 1 today and maybe tomorrow. And so starting with group 2, we might see a slightly different patch, which might change some things. We could argue about waiting on it, but honestly, at this point, I have no videos, and I think we just need to get going. And so there's going to be some differences here between the groups. That's okay, because ultimately it just comes down to every group being the same. The rules being the same for every single group. So these guys are going to be playing on the old patch. The next group may play with the new patch, but we shall see. So anyways, all that being said, group 1, God, 10-minute intro. Ugh. Pericles, Harald, Nubia, Simón, Shaka, China, and Victoria are going to be going group 1. We're going to launch in, and we will be back in 1 second. All right, so I've tried launching this group stage twice, and my computer has crashed after a couple minutes both times, or at least the game has crashed. So I've gone back to DirectX 11, and hopefully that makes a difference. I also changed the numbers, so hopefully we'll get a slightly different map. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what was going on, but we'll see whether or not this fixes it. So anyways, we got Greece up here on the northwest of this, looks like an archipelago. China then is south of them. Then to the east, we have Gran, Colombia with the Halloween colors. And then it looks like we have Norway and Mali right next to each other over here on the southeast side. And then we have England and we have Zulu here to the northeast. So yeah, it's definitely not running as smooth. I'm not entirely sure. So they did come out with new GeForce drivers because of Cyberpunk, and I did update today, so that might be what's causing the issue, which I suppose if this doesn't work, I might have to roll back drivers. But then again, if I had to do that, you probably won't be seeing this right now. Frustrating. I hate wasting time, man. It's like, okay, so it's like 5 minutes and then crash, then you do another 5 minutes after you restart your computer, crash, you try a different thing, you waste 5 minutes, and you have to like download drivers and just like, ugh. I'm not entirely sure how to roll back drivers in GeForce either. Is there an option in the GeForce settings? I suppose we'll find out here. Okay, so it looks like I keep saying Mali because of the colors, but Nubia. It looks like they're going for an invasion here in Norway. The good thing for Nubia is they only have to deal with Sapsborg popping out Viking longships to threaten them. But they do have quite a few troops right now. Norway doesn't really have a lot to respond to, so they might be able to grab Nidaros. But the big advantage here for Norway is the fact that they got the Viking longship, which is a 35 melee strength, which bumps up Nidaros to 28 combat strength, which is going to be pretty hard to take here from the warriors. You can see it, they're doing a lot of damage. Like, that was 36 damage. Plus, he's got the extra troops popping in. I think he's going to be okay. I think. Zulu over here, did you just declare war? You're fighting barbarians? They're not at war yet. Zulu doesn't really have too many troops threatening either. Greece and China might be in the best spot, though. They got a decent amount of room. And that's kind of the issue we have right now, is we have, 7 players for an 8-player map, which means someone's most likely going to end up with a little too much room. But we can't really do anything about that yet. See, he also popped up the Viking longship. That 38 is, like, impossible to grab with warriors. I'm going to say impossible, but, like, you're really going to have to suicide. She would definitely have to also flank it. She also doesn't even have her unique unit yet. So how did the tech tree shake out? We're not seeing any early walls. Yeah, we're not seeing early walls, so hey, maybe that was for the advantage then. Sweet. Shaka did end up settling right next to Victoria, so Victoria is a little trapped here. She's going to either have to go to war or something. Now, keep in mind, no dramatic age mode, so there's not going to be any massive flips here, but there would still be some flips. There can still be some loyalty issues here. Gran Colombia is also in a really great spot, too. They do have a lot of room here, especially since it looks like Norway's kind of settling eastward. Okay, so they did get walls, so walls aren't super hard then. I mean, it's basically about normal then. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but okay. I mean, that's basically the only reason we're kind of playing with the tech shuffle mode is on the off chance that we could potentially see. And I mean, we could also potentially get some weird religions as well. So I don't really mind the tech shuffle mode. I don't think it screws up the AI that bad. I really don't. Same thing with the heroes. Like, it has potential to screw up the AI. I don't think it really does though. And then apocalypse mode. It can be punishing, and I mean, we've seen it punish AI, but, you know, if you're by far the winner, you're not going to necessarily lose because of the apocalypse mode. Also, the other thing to keep in mind is less players means apocalypse mode should be a little slower, theoretically, which means we're probably more likely to end up with a winner pre-315. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm kind of guessing that, but I don't really have any proof on that. All right, so first hero Cobb came out and hopped out to Victoria, which might actually help her if she's being invaded. She's not currently being invaded. Could help her potentially in a positive war. Let's see, 30 combat strength. Now, the walls, yeah, so the garrison defense strength is also not affected by that. So that means your walls aren't going to be affected by the range strength of a unit. By the way, Mulan is Chinese. I think I called her Japanese earlier. I'm like, oh my god, that's so dumb. But yeah, so you're not, the garrison defense strength is affected. The number is based on the strongest melee unit you have, which also includes ships. Your wall's attack strength is based on the strongest range unit you have, which at this point would be slingers. I don't think a ranged hero then affects that because the melee one doesn't either. Also, the vampires aren't affected, so they must kind of have their own, like, existence then. That is not included. Although, once again, we don't have vampires, so, you know, it is what it is. Some people are thinking that potentially with the Secret Society, the AI just grabs the first one they run across, which is sensible other than the fact that we've only ever seen 1 or 2 barbarian encampments, or, sorry, vampire ones. Harald ended up getting Hippolyta, which to me would be one of the easier ones to grab. I suppose finding city-states is probably easier than killing off barbarian encampments, but I don't know. I would still expect to see more of the vampires, but anyways, I could have looked for that. So Nasi got claimed by Pericles, so these are a pretty even split then at this point. Pericles isn't going to really do a whole lot with you. China looks like they might be going for Kumla Sai. And who's winning right now? I'd assume China. No, Simón is. That makes sense. Actually, China's all the way at the bottom. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, he's already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cities up. And wasn't he one of the better civs? Yeah, he's the 3rd place civ in this group, right? I don't have it open because I restarted my computer. Let's see. 2020, second chance. Here we go. No, Pericles was the 3rd rank civ. He was the 5th rank. Was he not doing well, though, in his group? I could have sworn he was doing well in his group. He might have been one of the ones that was doing really good and then got absolutely screwed over by the, hold up, I'm pulling up the original group stage. What group would he have been in? He was in group 3 with Brazil, Dutchland. Oh, Korea, Gran, Colombia. I think he got destroyed by loyalty? I don't remember, man. It's been like 2 weeks since I played that game. Come on, you can't expect me to remember things 2 weeks ago. So Shaka's looking really good over here. Gotta say, Beowulf got claimed by Nubia. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Are they still at war down here? Because she now has her archers. She has Beowulf. Ferris is flipping. We didn't get our first era yet. We did, actually. Did not notice that. Shaka and China got Dark Ages in the first era. Yeah. How did we not get alerted to this? Did I miss it? Did I just click off of it? But interesting. Shaka and China both with Dark Ages. That's a little strange. So, for us, also could potentially get invaded by the longships. Hippolyta's over here. The thing is, I think with Beowulf and her archers, she's gonna be fine. She's also got a religion. I'm a little concerned for her long term though, because she's gonna have to make some sort of movements. Now, there's quite a few islands over here to the east, and those are probably easiest for her to settle. So she's definitely not out of this, but she needs to kind of hold here. Yeah, she really needs to hold there, and it's gonna be a little harder as the game goes along here with these the Viking longships. But, excuse me, Mali, Shaka, okay. I know I don't have coronavirus, Emily just got tested, so that's just a regular cough. I just ate lunch, so, you know, it's probably the chips I had. Anyways. Emily had to get tested, like, twice in, like, the past 3 weeks, because, like, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, one of her, one of her coworkers got tested or was feeling really bad. And so she got tested and it looks like she might have had coronavirus. And so Emily was like, I'm going to go get tested. Turns out it was negative for both her and then Emily. And then like literally a week later, that same coworker actually tested positive for coronavirus. It was like, oh my gosh, how do you almost catch coronavirus? Feel like you have coronavirus and then... Oh, interesting. The General and then Hercules over here. And then somehow go and catch coronavirus. But anyways, and so Emily got tested again afterwards, and she's fine. So she tested negative again a couple days ago. So we should be okay. Should be okay. I mean, neither of us have felt bad. I kind of wish it was easier to actually test for the antibodies here. I think there's a couple places that do it. I don't know if it's free. And it's like, I would love to see if we actually had caught it at some point. I mean, neither of us, there was a couple times we felt like bad, but it was more likely allergies. But anywho, let's talk about the freaking game here. So now we're in here. Let's pop out the heroes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right now. There is an even balance. These were the first ones and they got claimed by Victoria. So they probably just disappeared. And she also has Himiko now, which Himiko is also the bonus. Strength. Yeah, they seem to be fine. Do we actually have any wars happening right now? I mean, right now, I feel like there hasn't really been much happening in this game. Other than, like, these two guys fighting each other. They might still be at war with each other. No, they just don't like each other. Yeah, it's been kind of a boring game, to be honest, up to this point. It's like a 3-3 game going into halftime, and you're like, okay, I mean, cool. Yay, defense, woo. Sorry, football reference. Anyways, Kumasai, China has not taken over, even though they keep threatening it. Gran Colombia did go grab Nazca. Gran Colombia is up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 8 cities. Which, at this point, you're like, Gran Colombia is running away with it. They were in the best spot. Yes, but they're kind of running out of room. I suppose they could come settle up here and over here, but that's going to be a little harder for them compared to like a Shaka or even a Norway. We'll have to see. They definitely started off the strongest. We'll see whether or not that continues. All right, so we're getting the next era here. Let's see if anyone got a Dark Age. You know what would be interesting with the dramatic age mode? If you do lose a city, but maybe the free cities don't put as much pressure on. That would, I think, be a little more, that would be better for the AI at least. And I think it would still offer at least, you know, a punishment for getting a Dark Age. Because in some ways, like, with the regular game mode, like, there's a lot of times you almost maybe even target a Dark Age because some of the Dark Age bonuses are crazy good. Anywho, everyone got a normal age, which is weird to see because it's like, I forgot those existed. England got a golden age. Don't know if that's going to flip Shaka. I would have to imagine not because she doesn't really have that much pressure over here. Plymouth is actually tiny, mostly because it doesn't have any fresh water because it's settled here. And yeah, okay, whatever. London's putting some pressure there, but I imagine you're going to be fine. We did have the pause, so we should have taken a quick look at everything, but it is okay. Arthur got taken by China. Continue. There, another pause. Good. So what do we want to do here real quick? I want to pop in here. I want to look at the score. Simón is in first place. Pericles is still in second. Harald's in third, which is very interesting. Because I think his empire score has got to be one of the smaller ones. 93. Yeah, Nubia's got a smaller one and China's got a smaller one. So they have the third smallest empire score and they're still in third place right now. They got a religion though, and they got 2 wonders. So that's going to help. All the top 4 have 3 wonders or 2 wonders. Shaka has 0, but he is building 1 currently. Sorry, that's not Shaka. Where are we at? He's building just 1. I think he was the only one to actually go for the Hue. So yeah, I think he's fine there. China somehow has 0 wonders. China. You know, the civ that gets boosts towards building wonders and usually wants to build wonders somehow has 0 wonders. Okay, so this is a very odd game for China. Gonna throw that one out there. Religions right now, we have Norway, England, and Nubia with the religions. And then they're all currently recruited. So who are the last 2? So Gran Colombia has one. Do they have a... I'm assuming they don't have a holy site. Also, can we talk about how crap this land is for Gran Colombia? There's like no hills whatsoever. So even though things are looking good, they're going to have a hard time shooting rockets off because I think the production is going to be very bad there as the game ticks along. Then who had the other religion? We said Nubia, right? Because I know we had seen that Nubia had a great prophet at one point. I don't see one there. Shaka... I don't remember who we said had the religion, so just calm down. Calm down. Pericles up here. Pericles has the other one. Okay. So that's really good for Pericles. I mean, number 1 and number 2 are both in first and second place, respectively, without a religion, but both of them have the opportunity to get a religion here. So, yeah. Yeah. We actually have a decent number of cultural civs in this one. And by decent, I mean, Victoria's pseudo-cultural, but Pericles is one of the better cultural civs. China's also one of the better cultural civs. So, you know. Simón, I don't really remember Simón. I gotta spend some time with Gran Colombia again, because it's been a while. I was thinking about this too, like, man, I really want to play as China again. Like, there's a lot of civs we still want to go through, and it's just like, there's so many civs right now, and they keep adding more that it's like, we're not actually catching up. Because our whole goal here with Gathering Storm was to play through all the civs a second time when we got the Hall of Fame in, and I still like am in the exact same place with the Hall of Fame. We've only caught up with like 1 or 2 just because of all this crap, because they keep adding new civs, man. So Harald got another one. Good for them. Still no one really fighting each other. Actually looks like Gran Colombia is going to war against Norway. That's gonna be interesting. Norway's in a very good spot right now in the game because they got the berserkers up. They also just got another hero here too, so Oya, do they have another hero out? Yeah, no, it's a berserker. They have 1 or 2 currently alive. Heroes. They just have 1 alive right now. Okay, because Hippolyta disappeared. But then they also have the Viking longships, which are still very good at this point. I mean, the Viking longships are basically 10 to 10 until the caravel comes out. Berserkers are great, except they're really hard to build for the player. So they're really strong for the AI, not so good for the player, simply because you can't upgrade into the Berserker. You have to build them independently. And I'm not a huge fan of units that, you know, can't upgrade or, can't upgrade to or from really easily. It just makes it a lot more difficult. It's like Japan and the Samurai. Like, the Samurai are some of the best units in the game, except they're just ridiculously hard to build because you can't just upgrade warriors to them, which is like, ugh. Do I feel like they should do that? I mean, yeah, because I don't really see a reason. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's almost too punishing to the Berserker. And if the Berserker, like, it made sense when the Berserker in Norway got released, you know, especially when you compare the Berserker to, like, Rome. But when you're considering all the other unique units in the game, like, the Berserker just isn't really even in the top tier, I think, at this point. So it's like, I feel like just to kind of keep pace, you should be able to just, like, go straight to them. But anyways, they're surviving for now. Lots of pike and shots, which are great, but they're just not going to have a good time against the Berserkers. The Cav, there's only 1 Cav. Norway's actually a little on the weak side right now. And also Parker's going crazy too, but Nubia has no army. Not entirely sure what happened there because they've not even been fighting. Shaka did end up coming and settling over here and starting to block off Norway, and they still have all that area over there too. England is starting to move eastward, which is going to put them at contest here before too long with Greece. We still have a huge island down here. Oh, England actually settled down here too. All right, so England's being very Englandish. Okay, actually, long term, I think England's in a very strong spot right now. China, doing fine. They're doing fine. They actually ended up settling over here to Pericles. So that's kind of what they need to do to catch up. And Pericles is starting to fall behind, at least in territory-wise. Gran Colombia is still looking good. I don't think Gran Colombia is going to be able to take anything, but they're still in a very strong spot. Long term, they're going to have to start settling, though. And it's really going to come down to how much time they're wasting here on their military. And, I mean, there's a lot of military stuff being popped out. They do have more settlers popping out. I assume they're going to come settle here would be my assumption. And they also got some spots here and here. I don't think they're going to come all the way down here. I also don't think they can even reach it yet. Although Norway apparently can. Norway has cartography. Oh, no, I guess you can go through here. No, you definitely have cartography. So they might have cartography then if Norway has cartography. Okay, so what's our score looking like right now? Simón's still, he's got a huge lead. I just don't think he's going to be able to keep up with that lead. Here's the other thing. What's he going for right now? So we're looking at yield. Simón is really heavy into science and doing okay with culture. So I'd have to assume a science gameplay. Also, can we talk about this? He's got 189 culture already. That's crazy. No one else is really that focused on culture. He could potentially be running away with this one. We'll see. How many does he have? 1. Okay, so at least he only has 1 suzerain for the rest of the players. Always worry about an early Pericles victory. He's one of the few people that can get a sub 250 victory out with that deity AI. So you always got to keep an eye on that. Religion-wise, I can't imagine anyone's too close to winning. Nah. Just wanted to double check on that. But anyways, what else were we looking at here? We wanted to see, so he was going pretty heavy into science, but he's not running away with it in science. And the reason I wanted to see if he was going for a science victory, because remember, he's going to have to build rockets, and with the trash tier cities in production he has around here, it's going to be hard. Like, yeah, he's only got 36 in his capital right now. Let's compare that to, let's say, just for example, China. China's at 42, and it's not like China's in a great spot either. Athens has probably got decent production here. No, he's only at 36 too. Interesting. I mean, I guess maybe this land, yeah, I mean, I guess it's pretty flat across the board then. Yeah, there really is just not that many hills. What are you looking here in Merlot? You're at 24. Desert tiles, man. Yeah, and this is ultimately why any civ that spawns in tiles that aren't grassland or that has a priority to spawn in tiles that aren't grassland just sucks. Like, why? Like, what's the advantage to selling in the desert? I guess you can get the pyramids and the Jebel and the Petra all super early. Oh, hey, you can build your Nubian pyramid, which is giving him an entirety of 1 food, 1 faith. And by him, I mean her. Like, come on. Like, ugh. I almost feel as if all range units get 50% combat mines over strategic resources. See, like, okay, so Canada's interesting because they're the one civ that looks at tundra tiles, and it's like they utilize tundra tiles. Like, their tundra tiles can look the exact same as non-tundra tiles, which is great, except when you figure that they can't build farms or anything like that. So ultimately, their tiles are still going to fall short, which is why ultimately Canada is still one of the worst civs in the game. Russia is about the only other civ. I mean, Russia's the only civ that settles near a terrain that is not grass that I think is still really, really good. And the thing is, I don't even know, do they even have a tundra biased? Let me pull up my notes here. I gotta look at the new tundra bias. I keep forgetting the new bias for all the new civs. Favorites, bias. And essentially, if you don't know what it is, the bias is basically the lower the number on the bias, the more likely they are to spawn in that certain terrain. So for example, just looking at this list, Brazil has a tier 2 jungle bias, which it goes from like tier 1 to tier 5, which means they're extraordinarily likely to spawn near jungle. There is a very small opportunity that they can't. I'm not entirely sure how it places the civs, if it like looks for any of the tier 1s, places them first, and then looks for the tier 2s and so on and so forth. Not entirely sure. I never really found that in the XML file, or I never looked for it, one of the two. But anyways, tier 2 means they're more likely to spawn. Russia has a tier 2 tundra and tundra hills. Okay, but then wait, what? There's a note here. Tier updated from 3 to 2 in Gathering Storm. Oh, they're actually more likely to spawn there now. Maybe that's partly why Russia's not been doing as well in the last couple AI only series. Is because now they're more likely to spawn in tundra? I don't know. But they do get a lot of great people points out of tundra, right? I think is their advantage. Anywho, let's talk about the game before we run out of time here. This is going to be a little bit of a longer episode, but anywho. New era coming out next turn. Let's see what happens here before we take a good look at anything or at everything. I think England's looking pretty good right now just because they've been settling all over the place. Okay, so Renaissance era. Let's see how everyone ends up shaking out. We still got a while on the session here on the World Congress. England and Nubia got Dark Ages. Everyone else got Normal Ages, so no Golden Ages. We've seen very few Golden Ages, actually, which I'd say is crazy, but quite frankly, it's been a while since I played without Dramatic Ages, so I kind of forgot. The Dark Age here for England is not affecting them, though, but it's keeping Zulu from flipping. Zulu did come over here, and are they currently at war? No, because their dude is just kind of chilling out there. They're not at war yet, but they're just kind of chilling over here. Nothing ended up happening over here, which is kind of what we assumed was going to happen. What happened to Gran Colombia's army? Did they end up losing it? That's what it looks like right now. So Gran Colombia is now down to 330. Yeah, significantly worse. Harald has actually got a pretty decent army, but I think most of that's Viking longships and, you know, it looks like caravels. So that's probably a bit misleading. Unless, of course, they go for Nubia because they could potentially take a couple of these cities. Although 52, 58, nah, it's going to be a little hard. Yeah, it's going to be a little hard. Even with the caravel 55 against 52, Nah, you're gonna need something to bring down the walls first, I think, for at least the AI to be successful. Shaka's looking really strong, though. Question is what is Shaka doing with their army? Looks like right now they're going for Zanzibar. Okay. China is also extraordinarily strong. They still have not taken Kumasai. I'm assuming they must be suzerain then. No, Pericles is. Huh, weird. Speaking of Pericles, he has settled, what, 1 or 2 more towns, but still is kind of pretty well stuck in here. And then Victoria doesn't have a strong army, but she is one of the few people expanding outside her own territory. So, you know, good for her. And then Nubia is definitely starting to fall behind here. She needs to start settling. I'm not entirely sure why she's not been settling more. I'm not entirely sure what she's been doing overall. What's her yield looking like? She might be going for a religious game. Yeah, that might be what's happening. She might be attempting to spread and is unfortunately having to fight with Norway a lot. Although I saw the soothsayer and I was like, no, because I thought it was a cultist. I was like, I could have sworn we turned that off. Hey, Parker. Hey, no, don't chew on the freaking Christmas boxes. No. Hey, no. Do not chew on the cardboard box. Oh my gosh, this dog. All right. Oh, I thought that was going to actually pause the game. Go lay down. Go lay down. She's so rebellious. Hey! No! I gotta put those in the closet. Oh my god. Settle! Lay down. Take a nap. Here, I'll hold you. Come on. Just let me pet you. Just let me pet you and distract you while you're freaking busy. All right, let's look at the score here before we get too far. So Simón's still in first place, but his lead has dropped. Pericles is catching up. Harald's still in third, which, you know, all things considered is pretty good. Victoria's in fourth. Shaka's in fifth. China's all the way down in sixth, and Nubia's in seventh. China in sixth is a little weird in my opinion. They still probably don't have too many wonders, if any. I guess that must be why. Don't they have a religion too? No, they don't have a religion. They do have a couple wonders now. They're up to 3. But Simón's at 6. 3, 4, 1, 3, and 2. So everyone's got wonders, but right now Shaka's the one with the least amount of wonders. So at this point, Shaka's going to need a war. Simón's going to need to hold on. And I think he might be okay looking around and seeing how flat everyone's territory is. Parker, I swear, I will murder you. I'm not going to murder her. She's too freaking cute. Oh my god. Oh, my heart would break. Yeah, no. But anyways, it calmed her down. So, all right, I guess we're going to wrap this episode up here. We are interesting. So we're almost to turn 200. Here's the thing that I'm wondering. We had been doing 3 episodes per group stage, but we have 2 less civs, which means the game's going to move quicker. So we're at 36 minutes here. You know what? Let's keep going. I think we can actually get this down to 2 episodes per, which in the scheme of things, I'm down with, just simply because that's going to get us closer to finishing the game before January. At least the January civ comes out. So anyways, Nubia needs a lot of love right now. If they're going to end up surviving this. I mean, they could come, I don't even know. Like, Nubia has such a hard place to come back from. They're going to have to declare war and take over some stuff from Norway, but Norway's just too strong right now to actually make that happen. Gran Colombia is doing good. The fact that they just took over Cahokia, I think, is beneficial to them, unless everyone declared war on them because of that, but no. So they managed to survive that. They don't really have to worry too much about Norway right now. Norway has to worry about both Shaka and Nubia, with Nubia actually declaring war, doing the one thing that she, you know, really the only way she can come back from, but it's just going to be a lost war. China, I still kind of like have a preference towards thinking China could pull this one out, just because I feel like China is one of the better civs in the game, at least when it comes to building wonders, but they're not, of course, building wonders. And so they also still have a lot of room to settle as well. And they're just, I don't know, like they need to go take over Kumasai. They need to go take over Kaguna. Do they have any suzerains? Pericles is 1. Pericles now has 2, so he's getting an extra 10% culture, which puts him at 253. Dude. It might happen. We might have an early cultural victory here. I think it's happening. I think it is. Is he building any other wonders? No, but he's already at 268 culture. His tourism is still 0 technically, but he's already, you know, what, a fifth of the way there? No, that's not right. 30, 60, 90, that would be 6, 8, like an eighth of the way there. What is this one? City State, Simón. Oh, hey, there you go. Just a little late on that one. Let's go and let's see who declared war on Mr. Simón. So Simón is now at war against nobody. It failed. Interesting. Yeah, he's lining up very well to have a very early cultural victory here. And I think a lot of it's no one else is really too focused on culture. I mean, Simón's got some culture, China's got some culture, but neither of them are going too crazy. And keep in mind, China doesn't really have that many wonders right now. And I don't think Gran Colombia had that many wonders either, right? New era coming out in 8 turns. Gran Colombia, yeah, they had 6. I mean, Pericles only has 4 wonders, but if this swells to like 400, that's when all of a sudden we're in the uh-oh range. Right now, it's still, like, he's still got a ways to go, but it's just showing signs that he's going to start just cruising here. He also has the freaking Great Zimbabwe up already. Dude. And neighborhoods? By 168? This seems really early. The tech shuffle must have really allowed those to pop out pretty early. The other thing is, if he starts grabbing more city-states, he still only has 2, but if he starts flipping a few more. All right, China's going for Kumasai, which China needs that. A, he needs the territory, he needs the empire size, but then B, he needs to slow down the culture up there a little bit. So that's going to be good for them, and that's going to be bad for Greece. I imagine Greece might declare war, an emergency on them. Right now, Greece can't fight against China, but we'll see how that ends up shaking out. Been really weird with Shaka and England here. They've not really been doing much. Like, they've been right on each other's butt this whole time and then really didn't do anything with it. Nubia ended up failing in their attack, which we saw happening, and now Norway's starting to push out. I don't think Norway has enough to end up taking anything here just because, you know, 54 with, it's only medieval walls, right? I think it's just medieval walls, or no, those are building medieval walls. Either way, even with regular walls, the 54 combat strength is still just way better than anything he has. Now, it is flipping loyalty, but we'll see how the eras flip out. Here, Sun just got picked by Gran Colombia, so that's the first time Sun actually came out. Or no one's grabbed Sun yet up to this point, which is, I suppose, is surprising. Okay, let's see where we got. Let's see where we got here. So, Dark Age for Shaka and Nubia, Normal Age for everyone else. So that means Nubia is basically on the way out then. Faris is going to flip. I don't think there's anything they can do to stop it. Well, they could put a governor. You know, the other thing I was looking is, I wonder if there's a way to actually, and there might be, but if there's a mod or something where it's like less loyalty idiocy from the AI, so the AI would focus a little more on loyalty, that would be interesting. Dude, those buildings look really cool here with Norway. I like it. I like it. Shaka was the other one, right? That got Dark Age? Yeah. But see, no one's getting Golden Ages. Parker, leave it alone. Hey, leave it. No one's getting Golden Ages, so no one's really flipping anything. It's just not the same without Dramatic Ages, man. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I think a lot of people started pushing against Dramatic Ages mode there, though. I don't know. It'd be interesting if we did another straw poll to see what people said. We'll probably do a straw poll here at the end of the second chance rounds and give everyone an opportunity to vote again, just to see what the kind of overwhelming feel is. Just seeing the game play out with both on and then off and see what people say. So how are we looking here score-wise? Simón is back to almost 100 points again. Pericles is now over 100 in above second place. So right now it's looking like Simón and Pericles. And definitely, well, Pericles slowed down a little bit, actually. I was going to say it definitely looks like Pericles is going to win a cultural victory, but yeah, no, now he's under 300. He's kind of slowed down. He is going for, yeah, he's not going to get Oxford. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's over. I don't think these two are going to cruise to victory just because there's still so much open territory, and both of those civs are going to have a hard time grabbing it. Like, China should be able to get a whole bunch of territory here. Same thing with England. They both should just be able to grab a whole freaking butt ton. Really disappointing here with Nubia because Nubia really could have come over here. And the fact is, like, this is connected too via coastline, so they didn't even need cartography to get over here and just settle all of this, and they could have just been in a great spot. England ended up settling down another one, and that honestly right there is probably just the killing blow here for Nubia, because they basically lost almost any possibility of settling over here. Like here it's gonna be so hard now. They probably could hold on to it, but you know, it's just gonna slowly, like it's gonna have to grow, I think, to keep up with these guys, but we'll see. All right, let's wrap this episode up here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, comment. Let me know what you think. As always, hit the subscribe button, join the game, comment, share your support. We're gonna see if we can finish this in the next episode. If not, then there might be a shorter episode and we'll go back to 3. I don't know. We're just gonna kind of see how this one works. But hopefully we'll finish this off next episode, and then we'll hit group the second group in the episode after that. So until then, bye everyone.